Welcome to Rhythm and Roads Las Vegas. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. On today's show, we have a very special guest, singer, songwriter, musician of Las Vegas, Bucky Heard of the Righteous Brothers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joshua. And musician, very use that very loosely. I kind of
That's
play
funny.
at the piano, but
Yeah, okay. Hey, well, thanks for a laugh, man. That was fun. Oh, well, Bucky, I just want to say thank you for such, a blessing to have you on the show first. But when I met you at the Italian American Club, man, thank you just for your time to just talk with me, meet with me, just even get a photo. I was just very blessed just to have that opportunity to speak with you.
oh, same here, man. It's nice to meet you. And that's kind of Italian American Club's kind of my home away from home, which is weird. I'm an Alabama boy,
Are
and
you?
my
Okay.
friends are yeah, I'm from Alabama originally, and my friends are all down south that I grew up with. They're like, you hang out at that Italian American Club an awful lot. I'm like, well, it's kind of funny. The Southern vibe, everything you hear as far as like Southern people, the hospitality, and they love their food and their music, and it's all about family.
Yeah.
I was telling Ben, that runs Ben and Jimmy that run the place. I'm like, oddly, it feels like home here. So I always said, I'm Southern by birth and Italian by association.
That's
And I
funny,
can't.
man.
Whenever I say Italian, for some reason, I have to do this.
Yeah, you gotta
Hey,
do that.
I'm
Yeah.
Italian by association. Hey,
That's funny,
but
dude.
it's great. But it's great to meet you, man.
Yeah, likewise, bro. Likewise. But yeah, so Vegas have seen your shows, the fans have heard the music, but now we are wanting to know what's the story behind Bucky Heard. And so we love to go back, man, and just kind of start with where the foundation started of you, the desire that got put on your heart to sing and then be a songwriter. So if you want to share that, where it
Yeah.
started. Yeah.
Well, as you know, being a man of faith like myself, I grew up South Alabama. When I was a young kid, I used to actually when I moved to Vegas 6 years ago. I've been performing in Vegas for 10 years, but I used to fly
Wow.
in, and I finally bought a place here. But I was unpacking some stuff, and I found an old report card from second grade, and Miss Crocker was my teacher, and I forgot it just like brought back. She goes, "Yes, we really love." To my mom, said we really
Yeah.
loved writing, having Bucky, entertain us for show and tell. And then I remember dressing up in a cat suit singing a song from the Aristocats in second grade. I'm like, God, how did I not get beat up more? But I knew very
That's
young
funny.
that I knew I wanted to do it. I knew I had a love for entertaining.
Yeah.
I knew I had a real love for music. My mom bought me my first album. Like her and Elvis
Wow.
had the same birthday, and I lost her real young. She was 58 when she passed, but she
Wow,
introduced
really?
like a huge influence in my music. Everything. Glenn Campbell, Chuck Berry, the oldies.
Oh
I was
yeah.
old school, and she actually bought me my first Righteous Brothers record in 1974 for my
Wow.
birthday. I got Rock and Roll Heaven was my first exposure to the Righteous Brothers, and I fell
Oh,
in love
that's
with that
cool.
song. I'd sit in my room singing it at the top of my lungs, not knowing, 50 years later, whatever I was going to be
Yeah,
standing beside the guy,
that's
But
awesome.
but my granddad was a pastor, my uncle's a pastor, my cousin, a lot of pastors in my family,
Oh
and
wow.
so
Okay.
I grew up in Baptist church, and that's where I
Okay.
started singing.
Yeah.
Aside from singing like show and tell and stuff, but when I first started singing in choir in junior, I was probably fourth, fifth grade, and my love for singing gospel music, and when you're I can always tell a singer when I go listen to another singer, I can just about always tell when they have a uh, a religious or a gospel background.
Okay.
Because when you're singing for God, you're singing for something much more important than yourself,
Mm,
and the words mean something, and everything means something more.
wow.
And I think that'll translate over to other styles of music because you really relate to the lyrics and you really want to tell the story. You pick certain songs for certain reasons so you can
Right.
touch people or reach people on a certain level. So the church really, singing in church and all that uh, got me going, and started singing every Sunday. And then you get used to singing in front of people, and you lose your stage fright at a young age. And from then on, it was kind of on. I did a lot of community theater with my mom.
Oh, you did? Wow.
Oh yeah, Magic Crescent Community Theater in Dadeville, Alabama. Population 2,000, by the way, somewhere in
Wow.
there. We may be up to 3 by now, uh, I mean, I grew up in Mayberry. I tell everybody, in the church choir, like Gordon Ware was Ware's Hard. We didn't have Home Depot and stuff back. We had Ware's Hardware. Frank
Oh,
Pearson was
wow.
Pearson's Pharmacy. So when
Okay.
you watch Andy Griffith's show, all the townspeople are in the choir. So that's kind
Yeah,
of a big.
yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, I grew up in a very soulful, cool, wonderful. I'm still in touch with um, all my friends back there, and it's very important to me, my upbringing.
Yeah.
You know, I was raised. My mom and dad both raised me with Christian values, and uh, so anyway, that started everything. And then I did musical theater with my mom, and then went into junior college on a music scholarship, and did some shows there. Did
Wow. Okay.
Grease and
Oh, you did Grease?
oh yeah, I've done that Grease a
Oh,
couple
cool,
times.
man.
That was back in a ways back. My hair wasn't this color, but and then I really went. So at the point when junior college was done, I was going on to university, and I had to declare a major. And in my family, it was just you were expected to go to college, and
Mm.
I'm a big advocate for parents don't. My parents were doing the right thing; they're old school,
Yeah.
but I'm a big advocate for parents don't push your dreams and your aspirations on your kids. Let
Mm.
your kids come up with their own path and encourage them and guide them.
Yeah.
But you've got to. So anyway, I was expected to go to college.
Okay.
So I when it came to time to declare a major, my dad was the doctor of the town, little country doctor,
Wow. Okay.
and so I didn't think my dad would want me to be in theater or music, and I knew deep down that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't do it. I went for my second choice, which was geology.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I started my study in geology, and I needed about a year and a half to get my degree. I mean, I was almost there, and got into the physics and stuff, and it wasn't doing great with that. I started sitting in with a band on the side, which that was it. I started singing with this band, and then eventually they asked me to be their lead singer. So I went to my
Oh,
dad, and I
cool.
dropped dropped out of college, and went on the road with this band for about a year.
Wow.
And
Okay.
the band ended up dispersing after about that time, and came back home, groveling back home to mom and dad. And at that point, I told my dad, I said, I'd like to go back to college. And my parents were pretty supportive through all of this. And I told dad I said, I think I want to go into theater because I was always a singer. I always sang, and I wanted to study, acting more. So back then, and it's still today, even more so today, the triple threat. If you're going to be in the business, theater especially, you've got to be able to sing, dance, act, do it all.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Juggle, or whatever you can do to make it
Juggle.
separate you. Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
went to my dad and said, I think I want to get my theater degree. And I was ready for him. And he said, son, why don't you just do that to begin with? And I said, well, because I didn't think you'd be proud of me. And he
Wow.
said, I just want you to be happy. So at that point, it was on. I got my theater degree and then worked some regional theater. Started my last contract was running out, and I was hearing a lot about the cruise industry at that time, back in the early '90s. Some of the big mega ships were being built at that time with great shows. And so I did a little demo and sent it out and got hired by Royal Caribbean. Was on
Wow.
Royal Caribbean from 1990 to 94 doing shows, and I got to do my own cabaret show with a
Oh,
big
cool.
band. So I kind of got to
Yeah,
hone
yeah.
my own show and more experience. And they at that time in the '90s they were having I'm talking legends. We had a celebrity showroom, and like we had people like, and this is like early '90s. So I'm hoping you're a young man, but I think you're kind of old school. So I hope your listeners will
No,
know
I'm
some of
old
these
school.
people.
Oh, yeah.
But like we had, for example, Ben Vereen, Clint Holmes, who lives here, is a great performer here in Vegas.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Clint was kind of early in his career, and he would come
Wow.
on. Jerry Vale, we had Jerry Lewis, we had
Oh, wow. Jerry Lewis, too.
Vic Damone,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and even like Seinfeld and people like, it was just. So I get to learn from these
Wow.
master showmen
Yeah.
uh, on how it's done. With a 10-piece band, a 12-piece band orchestra behind them. So that was 4 years. And then I heard about Branson, Missouri, and my wife and I went into Branson and started working there. And I got to work with some legends there, Andy Williams and Tony
Wow.
Orlando, Mickey
Oh, wow.
Gilly, and some of those guys, and
Yeah.
doing some shows there. And that's where I met Bill in 2006. I had a 10-piece horn band that played every Saturday night,
Okay.
and we were the place to go on Saturday. 400 seater. We packed it every Saturday. We played together for 22 years. And like Bill and some of the star entertainers in town would come and sit in. So we had we'd have Bill Medley and Mel Tillis, Mickey Gilly, Wayne Newton had a show there, Bobby Vinton. I mean, back then Branson had more seats, theatrical seating than New York City.
Wow.
So it was huge. My wife was a choreographer. I met her on the cruise ship. She was a
Oh,
dancer.
you did? Okay.
She's a choreographer, and she had there's a big magic show she choreographed, 3,000 seater. You couldn't hardly get a ticket to it. So Branson was packed,
Wow. Okay.
and so that's where I met Bill, and then that's what led to the
Yeah.
Righteous Brothers thing. So
How
I
cool.
don't want to jump into that until you're ready, but that's
Oh, I'm ready.
from there up until that's kind of
Yeah.
in a nutshell. That's kind of my
Yeah.
journey of the
What
process.
of the process,
Yeah.
man? What a journey. Yeah.
Everybody's is different, and everybody has a story, but mine's kind of wacky, going from a little town in Las Vegas to here. I mean, a little town in Alabama to here. It's just
No,
crazy.
yeah, it is. And the
Like,
fact that
go ahead.
and
I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say, and the fact that you were on a tour for a bit with that band for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to probably meet different bands, of course, see different cities. I mean, that's just a part of the chapter two that's incredible because you're traveling, dude.
Well, I was
It's like,
fortunate to live through it. I mean, it's
yeah.
like, because back then, you're doing stupid stuff. I was 20 something
Oh
years old,
man.
single, and just did some stupid stuff. But thank you God for not letting me die and or not be in jail. But
Oh, dude,
but,
yeah.
but yeah, you learn a lot about. It wasn't glamorous by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, we were traveling six in a van, pulling a trailer behind us, and
Wow.
we would duck down coming into hotel rooms so we could get one room and all sleep in it. We took turns getting the bed. Uh,
Oh man.
yeah, it was.
You're
We
making it work, huh?
well, we just that's why I
Oh,
tell people that want to get in the business. I give advice to young people all the time because I teach a lot. I'm sorry, this notification thing's going off. I'm not
no,
really
you're good.
sure. Not really sure how to. Let me see if I can turn that off. Yeah. I should have checked that before we got on. I'm not very technical, and
No, you're
things get
good.
turned onto my computer. I don't know how to turn them off.
You're
So when you hear
fine.
the ding go off, ladies and gentlemen, go take a potty break or something. We'll make that mean something.
A
Um,
body break.
God,
You're
but
funny, man.
now I forgot where I was. I was
No,
rambling about something.
you were saying you were giving advice to young people if they
Yeah,
want to travel.
if you want to be in the business, uh, I was a musical theater and voice instructor at Dance Princeton School of the Arts for 15 years while I was
Wow.
doing shows. So I was teaching, working with kids. And I would always ask them who thinks they might want to be in this business, and they're 16, 15, 17. They're, oh, yeah. And I would
Yeah.
always shock them. This was like the first day. And I would say, well, if you can think of anything else you'd rather do, do that. And they like, I crushed their dream. I said, no, I'm just telling you, doing it for fun is one thing. Doing it for a living is another. And if you're considering doing it for a living, you have to not be there's no backup plan in your brain. You know, you have to be willing to, you have to know that you're going to get told no a lot more than you're told yes.
Wow.
And the hardest part about it is, like, if I'm a car salesman or if I'm a real estate agent, you're selling something.
Mm,
When you're an actor, singer in the arts, the product is you.
mhm.
So it's hard not to take it personal when you get rejected. If you go in for an audition and think, I killed that audition, and
Mm.
you don't get the call back, or you don't even
Yeah,
get
that's
looked at,
true.
or you see somebody else get the part and you're thinking to yourself, man, I know you just, so it's really, really difficult. And you're going to get told a lot more. But what you realize is that it makes the yeses a lot more sweeter.
Right.
And and it's important to have a good foundation. And I always knew that God had me, and I always knew, even though I doubted a lot, I always knew that if I look back on my life, even when things got tough, He's never let me down.
Mm,
So why would He let me down now? So
wow.
it keeps you knowing that even when things look rough, He's on the job, He's working, He's making something happen. I don't see it yet,
Right.
but I will, because I had a pastor that always said, God likes to show up and show off. He wants you to know He did it, but you had
That's
nothing
I
to do
like
with it.
that. Yeah.
So, so when I met Bill, it was kind of like one of those moments where I was teaching more. I was kind of thinking, you know what, I'm just going to maybe get into the teaching thing. I'm 50 years old. The chances of me
Yeah.
getting on a big stage anywhere or a big platform is probably done. And and then I had met Bill because he would sit in with my band, and we got to kind of know each other. I wouldn't say we were friends, but like, really good acquaintances. We'd see each other and hug each other, but we
Yeah.
we weren't like going on family vacations together. Uh, so
Yeah.
I ran into him at a wedding of a mutual friend. I hadn't seen him in a while, and he said, "What are you doing, man? You're not doing shows that much anymore." I said, "No, I'm kind of teaching. I'm really enjoying working with the kids and
Yeah.
passing on the knowledge that I've gained." And I said, "But I am doing a little show down the road. My buddy just opened up a little theater, and I'm doing a journey tribute twice a week, uh,
Wow. Okay.
and not dressing up, but like it was a great little 140 seat theater, and
Yeah.
we didn't dress up like them, but it was a great band with video, and we talk about why the songs were written, and then pay tribute to the music."
That's cool.
And
Wow.
he just kind of laughs and goes, "Oh, come on, man, you do Journey, like." And we happen to have a show the next day on a Sunday afternoon, like. I said, "Well, there's not going to be anybody there tomorrow. It's a Sunday afternoon," and we were a little premature. There was also an Eagles show there. I did that. I did the Creedence,
Wow.
Creedence,
Okay.
Creedence Clearwater Revival. Those were the three.
Wow.
And so I told Bill, I said, "We got a show tomorrow if you want to stop by." Not thinking he would. And he did call me 5 minutes before we go out and said, "Hey, I'm going to drop in for a couple minutes." Come to find out later, the only reason he came by is because he thought I was going to absolutely die. He said, "I thought you were going to die on stage. I've heard you sing, but to do Steve Perry is a different level. I just didn't
Oh
imagine."
man.
So I said, "So you came in because you thought I was going to?" He goes, and he copped right to it. He said, "Of course, because what do singers like more than to see another singer die on stage?" So that started the whole conversation.
That's
After that,
interesting. Wow.
he says, I'm going to stick around for one song." He stayed for the
Yeah.
whole show, and
Okay.
and then that's what got the conversation going about the Righteous Brothers, and kind
That's
of how it happened.
interesting. And
Yeah, it's
here,
weird.
yeah, and here you wanted to see really like see how the notes, the high notes on the Steve Perry part.
What that? I'm sorry. Say that again.
Oh, like he went to go see the show of the Journey tribute just to
Yeah.
see how good you are in hitting those high notes like
Well,
Perry.
no, 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 no. He only
Oh,
came to the show because he thought I wasn't going to be able to hit the notes, and
right, right.
he
Did not be able to hit
he
him.
just he thought I was going to die. I mean, and he said, when you actually got up there and sang Steve Perry, he goes, "I was shocked." and
Wow.
and he knew that we'd been on stage together
Yeah.
before when he'd sit in, so there's kind of a chemistry,
Oh,
and
okay.
because there's a lot more to it than being a good singer. You got to have chemistry.
Yeah, right.
The Righteous Brothers had a blend their voices, so there's a lot of things that went into it. He knew I was a Christian man. He knew I was a family man. He knew I did a lot of stuff around town for kids and veterans, and
Oh,
and
that's
he knew,
awesome, man.
and we liked each other as people.
Yeah.
We liked each other. So that kind of started the conversation, and we came to Vegas to do, like, I think 3 months were all we were given. So I left everything, talked to my wife. I said, "I won't do this if you don't think," we had a young daughter at the time. He was like
Oh, okay.
6, 7 years old, and I was going to have to be gone a lot. And she said, "Are you kidding me? You've worked your whole life for this. Of course you're going to do it. This is God
Wow.
going, here. You thought you were done? Guess what?" And then,
That's awesome,
turned
man.
into 10 years, man. 11 years we're
Yeah.
going to be. I'm sorry I'm talking so much. I'm giving you a chance to
No,
get a
I
word in
mean that's what
edgewise.
you're here for. You're here to share your story, bro.
But that's about the quickest I've ever told it. But that's
Wow.
the whole,
Yeah.
from Alabama as a kid to Righteous Brother now.
Yeah.
That's about the whole. There's a lot of details in there and stuff that happened, but that's about
Well,
That's it in
no,
a
that's
nutshell.
great, man. Yeah, and now, I mean, I want to talk about your. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, again, that journey, incredible. And I love the fact that when you think you're almost done, or you think
Yeah.
you are done, God, like you said, shows up and says, "No, you're not."
Show up and show off.
And like, yeah, he'll show off, and that's definitely a big show off.
Well, you know, through the
Hey,
Bible, the people that he used, look at all the disciples and Peter, Peter, burned Christians at the stake, and then God used him to create the church or to build the
true.
church,
That's true. Yeah.
or not Peter, Paul. I mean, and so that shows you he likes to use people
Yeah.
that that you just never expect. That's like
True.
and I
Yeah.
and I always said it's because he wants people to know that he did it.
That's
He wants
true.
you to know you had nothing to do with it. It was me.
That's true. I like that. Thanks for sharing that. So moving on from that part of your chapter of your life, you recently brought out an album, Breathless, in
Yeah.
January. Yeah, you want to share about your album?
Yeah, well, as you know, we were on the Righteous Brothers farewell tour, and we started that about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
But we're still rocking. But when Bill told me we were going to do that, I started. He said you got to start looking at what you're going to do after this. So I went into Nashville, found a great producer, got
Wow.
some great songs, recorded this record with some of the best Nashville musicians. I invite your listeners, please check it out.
Yeah, please do.
But it's on Spotify and all the stuff. But I wrote there's 8 songs on it. The only cover is a tribute to Roy Orbison's "Crying,"
Okay.
and then I also did 4 music videos, which is on my YouTube channel, which Bucky
Yeah.
Heard. Just like Bucky Heard, and then all my socials and all that. And I've got a website which everything's on there,
Yeah.
BuckyHeard.com. So, but yeah, the album has turned out really, really well. I did an album release at the Italian American Club
Oh,
about a
yeah.
month
Cool.
ago. Sold
Yeah.
it out, and yeah, so we got it. I met you at the second show I did, which is my Bucky Heard. I'm doing I've got 2 shows. I got one that leans into my originals and one that more leans into Righteous Brothers fans.
Oh, okay.
So in the show you saw, of course, I'm doing the Beach Boys and Roy Orbison and Elvis and the Righteous Brothers and more of the older classic stuff. And
Yeah.
the other one's more like Eagles Journey,
That's cool. Yeah.
CCR, rock and stuff.
PCR. Yeah.
But yeah, I just started kind of getting things in position to. I don't see Bill stopping though. He's 86 years old now. About to
86,
he'll be
really?
86 in
Whoa.
September. And
Good
Paul
for him.
Anka and people like Bill are out there still doing it at a high level,
Oh, yeah.
and people are still coming out. So we're about to leave on the 26th to do a 10-day tour up the East Coast, and
Oh, you are? Okay.
so like but the album was mainly just to I wanted to do it, and I wanted to do mostly original stuff.
Yeah.
So we did, and so now I've got my show, which you were at. Or did you see the show, or did you just stop in at the end? I wasn't sure if you actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it was the Chadwick Johnson show.
Oh, it's Chadwick's. That's
Yeah,
right. It wasn't my
Chadwick.
show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you
That's
did go
right.
up there and sing, which I
Yeah,
loved
Chadwick
seeing
and
you
I
both
sang.
play. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the perform was great. Yeah.
Chadwick's insane. He's one of my favorite singers. He and I've been wanting to sing together. I met him 10 years ago. We've been trying to sing together for 10 years. We finally did it.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, and that's right. So you weren't at my show, but well, you got another chance on July 2nd because I'm doing another one.
That's right. You are. Yeah. You want to go ahead and talk about that one? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, America 250 has sanctioned our show, which is great. We got their endorsement, and I'm bringing 2 friends, actually 3 friends of mine, to guest with me on the show. The show is going to be called
Okay.
"Let Freedom Ring,"
Yeah.
and it's going to be paying tribute to. It's like a big birthday party for America. Like we're not gonna make it to it's gonna be real soulful and cool. Everything from Chuck Berry back in the USA to
Wow.
doing a couple of I'll do a few Righteous Brothers classics, some Ray Charles,
Oh, cool.
oh
Ray Charles too, huh?
beautiful, full spacious
Oh,
skies.
yeah.
And and the Linford twins are twin
Yeah.
brothers that play twin fiddle. And they were on America's Got Talent, did very well.
Wow.
They're coming up. They're about to release their new album, but they're phenomenal entertainers. They're going to be my guest, and then my friend comedian Paul Green, who's out in out in New York City.
Okay.
He's going to be flying in to open the show.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
it's going to be a really, really cool celebration. And
Yeah,
my
dude.
band is great. Got a killer band. So And then, well, if anybody's in town tomorrow night, I'm doing a duo with John Wiedemeyer, who is the lead guitarist for the Beach Boys. And
Whoa.
we
Okay.
have a duo. We did this coming out of COVID because nobody was working and you couldn't work. The Beach Boys weren't working. The Righteous Brothers weren't. So John and I got together and put together a little duo called Surf and Soul.
Okay.
And so we're playing tomorrow night at the Space. There's a. Have you been to the Space before?
I have not. No.
Amazing venue. Monday's Dark is something you should check out. It's a big charity event that they do. Uh, I think 2 Mondays a month. They pick
Okay.
a charity and make a
Yeah.
local charity, and they raise $10,000
Yeah.
in an hour and a half. And they have anyway. They have a little back room called the Backspace, which seats about 70
Oh,
people.
interesting. Okay.
So we're going to be there tomorrow night, starting at 8 o'clock. If anybody wants to come out and hear some really cool soulful music.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Bucky. And I gotta say, I did listen to some of your songs from Breathless, and it's really good stuff. And that's why I wanted to
Thank you,
ask
man.
you what the inspiration behind your album was. But
Well, I told my manager when we started, we reached out to some of Nashville's best song pluggers, and of course we got
right.
hundreds of songs. I said, don't bother sending it to me if it's about let's get drunk and party and blah blah blah. I said, I'm I want to
Yeah.
sing about. I don't want anything that's not meaningful. I
Yeah.
mean, I want it's got to mean something. I want to touch people,
Right.
and so the whole theme of the album is and I'm living proof. You know, dreams don't have a shelf life. So whatever your dream is, take it off the shelf. If you put it there and dust it off, and start every day, just do something little to move towards that, and you'll be surprised at what you'll
Wow.
accomplish. You'll first of all feel better about yourself because, and the other thing that the album is about is live life with no regrets.
That's
Because
right.
at the
Yeah.
end of this life, you want to be able to look back and go, you know what? I tried everything. You
Yeah.
know, if something didn't work out, at least I tried. The
Right.
worst thing you don't want to sit at the end of your days and go, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Right.
And actually, there's a line in my song, that one of the song that I wrote called "It Is What It Is Till It Ain't." Is
That's a
And
cool
if you
title.
think about it, it kind of sums up the album. Is shoulda, woulda, coulda, never did me any gooda, left me standing where I stood yesterday.
Wow.
And it's a funny way of saying it, but it basically is if you make excuses and don't pursue your dreams,
Right.
you're gonna stay exactly where you are. Muhammad Ali had a cool quote. He goes, if you're 50 years old and still living like you did at 20, you wasted 30 years.
Oh man.
So
That hits.
live your dream, man.
Yeah.
Whatever your dream is, it doesn't have to be on stage. Maybe you just always wanted to learn how to cross stitch. I mean, I've always
Yeah.
wanted to crochet. Uh,
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Learn a new
I mean,
hobby.
you
Yeah. Just
can. I mean,
something.
I became a righteous brother at 50. You know, so if I'd have
Yeah.
given up, it would
Right.
have never happened.
Right.
But I never stopped. To go back to Journey, I never stopped believing. Don't stop believing.
That's right. Don't stop believing.
And there's a song on my album called "My Best Days Are Ahead of Me," which and a lot of my hats and I sell my Bucky Heard merch.
That's right.
Uh,
You do. Yeah.
it says age ain't nothing but a number.
Wow.
My age ain't nothing but a number, and your
That's
best
right.
days are ahead. You
That's
just got to
right.
believe it, man. You just got to believe it. You got to put it in motion. You got to just know that it nothing is over, and you don't. I just want people to look and say, Bucky Heard at 50 years old became a righteous brother. That's insane. That is like mind blowing that God would bless me like that.
Mm.
I'm eternally grateful. But my granddad always said, my Baptist preacher granddad, who baptized me by the way at 13 years old,
Oh, cool.
he said, Buck, he goes, if you want to pray for those crops to grow, you better do it with a sack of seed and a hoe in your hands.
Mm.
So you got to put the work in,
Yeah.
and you got to continue to put the work in, but you gotta know that somebody else is working.
With you on that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Amen to that, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
I definitely needed to hear that today. That's definitely inspiring for me and for those viewers as well. Before we end on this episode, I do want to touch base on something because I know I'm not today, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. And then, and there's so many people that are struggling with something. And I want to let them know just it's okay to ask for help. And
Uh-huh.
just what Bucky was mentioning earlier, saying that you're going to get those no's, you're going to get those rejection letters. That doesn't define who you are. Okay, so there's an actor that I'm very fond of, but he passed almost 20 years ago, I believe. Jonathan Brandis. He's a late, young actor at the time. Did really well growing up. His career took off at a young age. In his early 20s, he was working with Spielberg. He had his own television show, but then shortly in his late 20s, his show got canceled. He wasn't getting work. He was struggling. And I think this could have been the top of the point where he pretty much gave up. He was the one that was up and running for the film Titanic with Leonardo DiCaprio
Oh, wow.
in playing Jack. So it was either going to be him or Leonardo DiCaprio, and they went with Leonardo. And so they were debating. Yeah. So I don't know the whole story behind that, but where I'm getting at is he took his life at the age of 27
Mm.
because he was so talented. He was in a movie with Chuck Norris called Sidekicks. And from what I read on his bio is that he got depressed. He lost hope
Yep.
because no one was hiring him. And maybe that was the edge of him giving up because he thought he was going to get the Titanic role to play Jack, and they went with Leonardo. But shortly after that, I think that's when he took his life.
We, it's so
So
sad, man, that
it
people,
is.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of the TV show Storage Wars, and the guy Daryl on Storage Wars, the gambler. He just did the same thing, and they said that he was just went into a depression and
Wow.
a dark place. And I relate to that. There's been a couple of times in my life, in particular, when I was a young man and I was in love, and this girl who I thought I was going to marry broke up with me, and you know. I understand that mental state because you get
Yeah.
to a place sometimes it's so dark, and
Yeah.
especially when you're younger,
Yeah. True.
you just don't feel like you don't see the big picture that you've got a whole life ahead of you. There's going to be so many great things coming.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's important for people to have a good church home. Like that's what I would say to somebody. I said,
Yeah.
you know, uh, when you're at your lowest point, you're never alone. God's always with you,
Right.
and if you're in a good church home with a good pastor, you got a good that's a huge support around you.
Yeah. Right. Of course. Yeah.
So that's what I would really encourage anybody that's as alone as you feel. God loves you and He's with you always, and
Yeah.
He does have your best interests at heart. And
Right.
this is another thing. One of my favorite pastors always told me. I thought it was really cool, especially since the story you just told. Like even when you feel rejected, realize something that God, let this sink in. God never, when you ask Him for something, He will never tell you no. He will answer you in one of three ways, and no is not one of them. He will either say yes, which is great. We all love yes.
Yeah.
He will say not now,
Right.
or He'll say, and I love this was my favorite, I've got something better planned for you.
Wow.
So if you think this thing that you got going is like this girl that I was madly in love with,
Yeah.
and she dumped me for this, and I just was,
Oh man.
I can just, but now I've been married to my wife for 31 years,
Wow.
and
Congrats on that.
she's the best thing. I mean,
You look
I would
back
have
and
been miserable if I'd have married that girl.
yeah, you look back now, right? And you're like, "God,
Oh,
protecting me."
but 100%.
Yeah.
Garth Brooks had a song that I loved. It said, "Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers."
Wow.
So
Wow.
the rejection can sometimes be something better for you.
Yeah, set up for
Like God's
something
like,
better.
no,
Yeah.
no, He want. I kind of relate it to. Are you married? I don't know if you're married or have
Oh
kids
no,
or
I'm not
anything.
married. No kids, no.
So, so I used to think of God as this big being up there that was like we were little ants down here, and He's just looking to
Yeah.
crush us and all this stuff.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, and again, this pastor that really pulled me through some dark times in my life uh, said that he said, I said, why is it we get mad when God's not working our side of the street?
Mhm.
He's not doing what we think he should be doing.
Yeah.
Like this guy this he created the universe, but we know better. Let me drive. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
And but he said oftentimes he goes, for example, he said my kids. He had two boys that were like 7, 8 years old. He
Okay.
said if I gave them candy, they love candy. He goes, if I gave them candy for lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, I would be the best dad in the world. That's what they want. I would be king.
Mm.
But I know as their father that would cause them tremendous health issues. I
Mm.
see ahead. I see the big picture.
Wow. Yeah.
I know what that would do to their health, to their teeth, to their mental state, everything. So I tell
Dang.
them, no, you can't have candy. And they don't understand that, but I
Mm.
do. And I'm doing it because I'm protecting them and I love them.
Wow.
So if you think of God that way, when he tells you no, it's
Yeah.
like, no, you can't have that candy right now. That's going to hurt you. You don't see it, but I do. And so that's what I just try to encourage. And if you have that kind of uh, anchor,
Yeah,
if
the
you
anchor.
will, and I know you have that in your life.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, and it comes across when I first met you, Joshua. I just could tell there's a piece about you. There's a underlying kindness and love about you. Like Christ always says, let me see it through you. Don't go out and scream my name in the streets. Let others see you through me, through you. And you have that. You have
Oh, thanks, man.
that. I knew when I met you. I said, there's just something that you're. I knew you. I just had a feeling you were a believer.
Oh,
And
thank you. Appreciate that.
and
Yeah.
and for those out there that are struggling and know that your dreams aren't over.
Right.
Maybe this one right now that you wanted really bad is not happening, but it doesn't mean something better is not going to come.
Right.
And it could be just around the corner, you
It could
know.
be. Yeah.
And really, you get run through tribulations and hard times. It refines you like steel.
It
And
does.
and
Yeah.
sometimes I go, why didn't God bless me with this righteous brother saying much earlier? Because I was stupid and I wasn't ready for it. He had to teach me some things before he laid
Wow.
this blessing on me, so that when I did get it, I was ready because I
Wow.
was
Yeah.
not ready in retrospect,
Right.
vocally, mentally, any other way.
Wow.
But when it
Well
happened,
said.
it was the perfect timing. I was at my best voice.
Yeah.
I had done all the crazy stuff that I wanted to do. I was centered,
Yeah.
and then he goes, "Okay, now you're ready here."
That's
So
awesome, man.
I
Wow.
just want
Yeah.
I want to encourage everybody out there. Just just don't think that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just maybe not going to happen right this second, because there's some
Yeah.
things you need to learn so that when it does happen, you'll be more prepared and
Very
you'll be able
true.
to rock when you do jump into that.
That's right. Wow, well said, Bucky. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks,
That
brother.
definitely blessed me today for sure. Just your testimony, you just sharing that for us and the viewers. Very well said and very true. Very true. And I'm glad that you brought this up, especially for the Mental Health Awareness Month. Because yeah, when you get those rejection letters or get rejected by a woman
Oh,
or
it's horrible. I've
whatever
been
it
there.
is, a job offer that didn't come through, it hits you and it
When
sucks,
and in the
you know?
business, especially when because
Oh yeah.
you get hit over and over again. You just got to be, you got to be Rocky, man.
Yeah.
You got knocked down, you got to crawl back up,
Get
because
back up.
he actually beat Apollo Creed, after crawling up from the ropes, man. You pull yourself
Yeah.
up,
Pull yourself
Adrian.
up.
Yo. So
Yeah.
you just got to know, man, it could be right
Yeah.
around the corner. Just
Yeah.
don't give up. Just
That's
don't give
awesome.
up,
That's
and
awesome.
believe.
I believe. That's right. Have faith, believe, and just know, like there, just by that one extra, just push of one extra day, you never know. That could
And
be that
find
one day.
and find a church home, man, where you got
That's true.
where you've got a good
Yeah.
support group around you and a good group of friends that can support you when you're
Yeah.
feeling down. You go in. That's why I love, people go, why do you go to church? Why do you go to church? I said, it's like I like to I go to Central Henderson here, which is
Oh, do you?
Jeff
Okay, cool.
Heights, a great pastor.
Yeah.
And it's a big church, man. It's like one of those super
Oh,
churches.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
thought I'd go to those because, I mean, my church is like a 50, 75 people, and I'm very needy of my pastor. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this super church. But it's so great because, the week, as you go through your week, man, you just get beat up. It's like Rocky, you get pummeled. And
Yeah.
you go
Right.
to church, and that's like going into the ring and sitting and they put the Vaseline on your face. And all right, man, it's like God in there going, okay, man, you got this thing called life. Go in there, keep your guard up,
Yeah.
swing here, swing there, and I get back in there, and then you go back in. So
That's true. It's a nice
It's a
recharge reset. Yeah, get back up,
recharge reset, man.
recharge.
So
Yeah, that's
a
cool.
good church home. Come to Henderson, man. Would love to have you at Central.
Yeah, guys, go visit Central. Yeah, I actually been there. It's been a while, but I when I did visit, it was really great, especially the
Yeah,
worship.
the
Yeah,
worship team's great. And Jed Wilhite's amazing. You can find
yeah,
him on online too. So if you need some encouragement out there, you're feeling down, look up Central and go listen to one of his sermons. It'll probably, I think it'll really lift your spirit.
awesome. Well, thank you for that. And I do want to ask again. I know you mentioned it earlier in the interview, but what is your website, Instagram links? For,
Thank you, brother.
yep,
Uh, my website is buckyheard.com, Heard, and then at pretty much at Bucky Heard for all of my
Instagram.
socials,
Okay.
TikTok and Insta and face the Facebooks, my dad called it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and so yeah, come join me on the craziness, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we're about to go out on the road here
That's awesome.
for a week, and we're going up through New York and Maine. And I always post a lot of stuff from the road and stuff backstage and stuff
Yeah.
with Bill, and so it's we have a good time. And folks that join me on there, I try to interact with everybody a lot, and so it's always great to have new folks join us.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then your show coming up on July 2nd, you know that one,
Yes, sir.
Let
Let
freedom
freedom ring.
reign. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and
one
then
and
I'm
then yeah. Go
and
ahead.
then go to righteousbrothers.com. We might be coming somewhere close to one of your viewers. We're out
Yeah.
on the road a lot.
Yeah.
We're here in Vegas. We come back end of next month. Yeah,
Okay.
and then I have another show at the Smith Center at Myron's coming up on August 13th too.
Oh,
So
very cool. Nice.
got a few little shows coming up. But come to Surf and Soul tomorrow night, man. If you ain't not doing anything, come check it out. John Wiedemeyer is a virtuoso on guitar. He's
Okay.
been with the Beach Boys now for several years,
Wow.
and we do everything from Tony Bennett to Ozzy Osbourne. So it's just
Oh, wow.
one voice, one guitar.
That's amazing, man. Yeah. And viewers, check out Breathless as well.
Thank
Available
you.
on Spotify and Apple Music under Bucky Heard. So enjoy
Yes,
that. Well, I got to say, Bucky, it's been such an incredible honor and blessing to have you on the show. And thank you for sharing just your testimony, just words of advice and encouragement. And those, like I said, for those that want to come on and share your story, my Instagram is Joshua Jacob Official. You are the light, you are the hope, you are the beacon of hope, and you are the voice. So you come on the show, you never know what one person who sees it could impact their life. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you again, Bucky Heard of the Righteous Brothers, for coming on. And this is Joshua Jacob with Rhythm and Roads, Las Vegas. Thank you for watching.